Hello, my name is Jameson Peak McQueen, and the Bible I chose is from 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4 through 13. Love is patient, love is kind, it isn't jealous, it doesn't brag, it isn't arrogant, it isn't rude, it doesn't seek its own advantage, it isn't irritable, it doesn't keep a record of complaints, it isn't happy with injustice, but is happy with the truth. Love puts up with all things, trusts in all things, hopes for all things, endures all things. Love never fails. As for prophecies, they will be brought to an end. As for tongues, they will stop. As for knowledge, it will be brought to an end. We know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when perfect comes, what is partial will be brought to an end. When I was a child, I used to speak like a child, reason like a child, think like a child. But now that I've become a young man, I put an end to childish things. Now we see a reflection in a mirror, then we will see face to face. Now I know partially, but then I will know completely in the same way I have been completely known. Now faith, hope, and love remain, these three things, and the greatest is love. This passage doesn't mean friendship love or relationship love. In this passage, Paul is talking about the kind of love you have where you put yourself in front of others and care for them. In Greek, there are multiple words for love. One type of love is friendship love, another type is romantic love, but in this letter to the Corinthians, Paul used the word for the kind of love that parents have for their children when you're willing to lay down your life for someone else. The reason Paul wrote this letter is because God gives all of us the kind of love a parent has for their children. And he's saying that we need to show one another that kind of love. I agree with Paul. We need more of this kind of love in our community. But sometimes people don't understand the full meaning of love. To me, this passage is like a guide for how to love properly. It can help you know how to love and also how to recognize real love. Paul says that to get or give this important kind of love, you must be patient and kind. This made me think of when our class went to Glide Memorial Church and served breakfast. While we were there, I had to be patient with people who maybe had disabilities or were hurt. Treating them with patience made me feel like I did the right thing. I was helpful towards the people instead of rushing them or being impatient. This made me feel more connected to other people and humanity. I don't really know many people with disabilities, but the experience at Glide helped me see them as just regular people who are loved by God the same way I am. Paul also says that to have love, you can't have envy. You can't brag about your love, and you can't say you have love and be rude to others. One example of this is when my team lost a soccer game. I was trying to help our team keep their heads up after the other team scored, but some of my teammates were being rude to me for trying to help them because they were mad about us losing the game. Being irritable and putting themselves first did not help us win the game. It made us less connected as a community, and this is one of the reasons why we lost. This is why we sometimes lose as a society too, because when people are unwilling to sacrifice for each other, we end up with problems like poverty, crime, homelessness, and wars. The main reason I chose this passage is so I can tell everyone the true meaning of love and why it's so important. I agree with Paul that faith and hope are important, but love is the most important. We can love each other more by being there for each other and putting others in our community ahead of ourselves when they need us to. Jesus laid down his life for us, and we need to use that as our inspiration to help others.
God's blessing and the love of God's people always embrace you. Jesse O'Dowd, come and teach.
Hello, my name is Jesse O'Dowd. My passages are from the book of Ruth and the Acts of the Apostles. Ruth 1:16-17. But Ruth replied, "Don't urge me to abandon you, to turn back from following after you. Wherever you go, I will go, and wherever you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God. Wherever you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. May the Lord do this to me, and more so, even if death separates me from you." In Acts 2:44-46, all the believers were united and shared everything. They would sell pieces of property and possessions and distribute the proceeds to everyone who needed them. Every day, they met together in the temple and ate in their homes. They shared food with gladness and simplicity. I chose these passages because I believe that friendship is the cure for everything. When I was in 6th grade, I was on my way to the bus after school with my friend to hang out, and a kid started saying he was going to beat my friend up. My friend wasn't worried about it and was just trying to hang out with me. As we were getting on the bus, the kid started punching my friend when he wasn't looking. My immediate reaction was to grab him and pull him off. After I did that, a teacher broke us up, and it was over. However, someone started recording a video right as I grabbed the kid, and the video made it look like we were beating on him. The next day, that kid brought a bunch of his older cousins to our school to hurt me and my friend. We ended up fine, but it was hard not feeling safe at school. During the rest of the week, we were given time off from school for safety reasons, and me and my friend got a lot closer during this week. He was very appreciative of me stepping in, even though it had nothing to do with me. When people asked why I intervened, I always said he would have done the same for me. Having a relationship with someone where you are both willing to put the other person first over yourself feels great and is important. This year, I played on a football team where the coaches were very harsh and discouraging. And if it weren't for my teammates, who I considered my brothers, I would have quit the first week. Whenever the coaches picked on someone, everyone would come by that person and say something like, "You're good," or "Keep your head up." Every practice, I would dread going until I remembered I get to see my teammates. The camaraderie that was built between me and my teammates was incredible. And I realized that having a good group of friends that pick you up when you're down and care about you is essential. There are so many people in this world who have everything they could ask for and more, but they don't help or share. I believe that being a part of a community that is generous and helps each other when someone's down is very important. If people would just lend a hand to people in need, so many problems would be solved. One thing I love about my community at St. John's is that we are always helping people in need. I see my mom making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches or boiled eggs to bring to the church so they can be taken to the homeless in Oakland. I think this is amazing and I admire it a lot. Multiple times have I been to Homeless Kitchen to serve food to the homeless because of St. John's. I'm so grateful for these opportunities because I get to be a part of something that is really helping. It makes me feel good when people are helping those who are in need. When Ruth was talking to her mother-in-law, she was saying that she will never leave her side. Ruth shows that she is truly loyal and cares about her mother-in-law. This really inspires me to find friendships where that same sort of commitment is shown. This year, I've stopped hanging out with the people that made me feel like I need to be someone I wasn't, or made me feel left out. Instead, I've been seeking friends who are there for me and make me laugh. Just as Ruth found a new home and a new future in Bethlehem, I'm finding that my truest joy comes from surrounding myself with people who I can be myself around. Thank you.
Thank you. May God's blessing and the love of God's people always embrace you. Keller Lukens, come and teach.
Good morning. My name is Keller Lukens, and my Bible passage is from 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 12 through 27. Just as a body, though one, has many parts, but all its many parts form one body, so it is with Christ. For we were all baptized by one Spirit so as to form one body. Whether Jews or Gentiles, slave or free, we were all given the one Spirit to drink. Even so, the body is not made up of one part, but of many. Now if the foot should say, "Because I am not a hand, I do not belong to the body," it would not be for that reason to stop being part of the body. And if the ear should say, "Because I am not an eye, I do not belong to the body," it would not be for that reason to stop being part of the body. If the whole body were an eye, where would the sense of hearing be? And if the whole body were an ear, where would the sense of smell be? But in fact, God has placed the parts in the body, every one of them, just as he wanted them to be. If they were all one part, where would the body be? As it is, there are many parts, but one body. The eye cannot say to the hand, "I don't need you," and the head cannot say to the feet, "I don't need you." On the contrary, those parts of the body that seem weaker are indispensable, and the parts that we think are less honorable we treat with special honor. And the parts that are unrepresentable are treated with special modesty, while our presentable parts need no special treatment. But God has put the body together, giving greater honor to the parts that lacked it, so that there should be no division in the body, but that its parts should have equal concern for each other. If one part suffers, every part suffers, and if one part is honored, every part rejoices with it. Now you are the body of Christ, and each one of you is a part of it. When I first read this passage, I couldn't help but think about the communities that I'm a part of. I couldn't help but think about my friends and how they will help each other no matter what. I couldn't help but think about my family, who will support me when I'm upset, angry, or hurt. I couldn't help but think about teams I've been on, where we accept each other despite the mistakes we made. And I couldn't help but think about the community of St. John's and the connections I've made with MPC. But the thing I thought about the most was the world we live in. I thought about how much the world would benefit if it believed and followed what this passage teaches us. When I walk through my community, I see so much division, and I see people who believe that others are useless. But the truth is, it's not our place to judge others or criticize them when their choices don't affect ours. Because the truth is, everyone has a purpose, even if they aren't seen for it. Every big actor has people who write their scripts, make their clothes, build their sets, bring them food, film them, and make sure they're safe. Just because those people aren't the stars, surely that doesn't mean they're any less important or useful. Being part of a community means much more than just showing up. It means accepting others for who they are and supporting everyone. A community simply doesn't work without the people that make it up. And that's all the people that make it up. Because just like the body, or the most finely tuned machines, everyone has a purpose, a place, and a unique contribution to the larger system. I personally know how much it matters to feel valued in your own community. And I also know how it feels to feel useless in a community. So when I first read this passage, I think it has a clear message. We are all loved, we are all needed, and everyone is an essential part of what makes up the body of Christ. It is never right to treat anyone as if they're not part of that body. Thank you.
Thank you. May God's blessing and the love of God's people always embrace you.